When I went to the game the other night against Ottawa, there was a chant that started at the start of the game, and I don't know if you could hear it on TV. We want Boeser. We want Boeser. And it really has been a PR nightmare with certain Canuck fans. I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. So tonight's projected lineup against the Jets is this. Berchi, Horvat, and Boeser on the first line. Daniel, Henrik, and Vanek on the second line. Eriksson, Granlund, Virtanen on the third line. Gagne, Sutter, and Dorset on the fourth. Burmistrov's out. I don't understand why Burmistrov was playing ahead of Boeser. If Boeser was a healthy scratch, and if it's a legitimate healthy scratch, why is he on the first line tonight? He's on the first line because he belongs on the first line. So I complain about, McPhee and what he's doing with Shipachev not making any sense. And meanwhile in Vancouver, you got a first liner being scratched by a team that says we're being competitive. Nobody's delusional in Vancouver. Nobody thinks we're not in a rebuild. But at the same time, you want to see a team put its best players on the ice. And there's no doubt in anybody's mind that Boeser is one of the best players. In the game I saw in the preseason between Vegas and Vancouver, where Vegas blew us out 9-4, the highlight for me was watching Boeser. His wrister from just outside the hash marks. Wow. That was a beautiful shot. And it was a goal scorer's goal. And Vancouver doesn't have a lot of guys that can do that. Certainly not Burmistrov. Now, there were a few times during the game against Ottawa where I'm like, why is Burmistrov on the ice? I actually said that out loud. Why is Burmistrov out there? He was on the second unit power play at one point, and he was out there on one of the penalty kills, and then I noticed he was out there almost right away again after, and I'm like, they're really playing Burmistrov a lot. So it seemed like that. Compared to what I thought, I mean, I guess maybe I'm not a Burmistrov fan, but every time he was on the ice, I didn't see anything going particularly well for Vancouver. So they've got Burmistrov scratched, and who else is scratched for them? Pouliot and Biega. So Derek Pouliot still hasn't made his debut, and I don't think he's going to. See, this is the thing. So you got Edler and Tanev, Delzato, Goodbranson, Hutton, and Stetcher. Which one of those six guys do you pull out for Derek Pouliot? None. So basically Pouliot's waiting for an injury. And maybe so's Biega. But if Jake Virtanen, who hasn't had a point in his first two games, and he had a couple of okay moments against Ottawa, but if he doesn't show something soon, I think he'll get pulled out of that lineup. But we'll see. It's about time Boeser made his debut. And I mean season debut. But here's the word debut, and like, he's already played for Vancouver. I know. I was at one of his games last year. I watched him play. I watched him score a goal. Anyways. For me, Boeser is a big part of the future, and he's not the future. Neither's Horvat. For the Canucks, their future lies in wherever that franchise player is going to come from. You look at almost every team in Canada has got a franchise player. The Canucks really don't. And the one kicker, too, with Vancouver that I noticed, I'm going to throw this into this video, is Edler pinches a lot. And I really don't know that Edler should remain on the team. Like, I think they'd almost be better off to take Edler, trade him out for picks, whatever they can get, and throw Pouliot in as the number 6 guy. And then bump Delzato up with Tanev, Hutton or Stetcher with Goodbranson, and then whoever's left over plays down. Or you can even bump Stetcher up to the top two spots. I thought Stetcher was fantastic. And Goodbranson played a really solid game. I actually thought Goodbranson played a better game than Delzato against Ottawa. But at least now Boeser will be in the lineup against Winnipeg. My problem is this. This should have been the Canucks lineup on opening night. It shouldn't have taken 2 games to figure out that gee, maybe we should put Brock Boeser in net, or in the game. In net. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think Markstrom's looked good. And he's getting the start in this one too. So Markstrom's going to play a lot this year. I think he'll get about 60 games if he can stay healthy and if he can stay consistent. But we'll see. So let me know what you guys think. Is there anybody in Canuckland that agrees with Boeser not playing the first 2 games? Like when he was held out of the opening game against Edmonton, I went, you play Dorsett against the Oilers, I get it. They'll have Boeser in the lineup against Ottawa, a more skilled team. No, you don't have him in the... Well, maybe it's because they won that first game. I could kind of understand it. But for me, pulling Burmistrov out of the lineup makes total sense. Absolutely total sense. But you guys can let me know who you think should sit. And if you're going to say Dorsett, I'm going to disagree. And I'm going to disagree as a guy who, for the last year on my channel, anytime I could talk about Dorsett, I said, well, you know, Dorsett's a guy they should just get rid of. Dorsett's a waste of cap space. Dorsett does play an important part in this team at this point in time. And he's well respected and liked by his teammates from what I could see, and he does play a good game. I think part of the benefit of where I was sitting in the Ottawa game was I was behind the Canucks net, so every time there was a breakout, every time there was a turnover, I could see who caused it, I could see who was there. And again, that's why I'm not surprised Burmistrov's pulled out of the lineup, because I couldn't figure why he kept going out on the ice. And Dorsett played well. There were a couple of moments where Dorsett did something kind of boneheaded, but not like Edler. Edler twice passed in front of his own net. And the guy on the other side of Yvonne and myself both said, what the hell? What are you doing? You don't do that. Don't pass in front of your own net. Because there were Ottawa players right there. And if they'd been a little more aware of what they were doing, that game doesn't go to overtime. Ottawa wins at 4-2. So, you know, it is what it is. Keep finding little snags. I'm looking at you, kitty. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you so much for watching. Let's hope that Brock Boeser does well tonight. I'm not cheering against the Jets, but I kind of have to pull for the Canucks because, you know, home team, they'll kick me out of here if I don't. I'll talk to you again soon.